Here's our mission statement. Back Bay Mission meets the urgent needs of those suffering from poverty and its effects while building pathways to social justice. We lead the way in delivering services, creating collaborative solutions, and transforming lives through mission immersion experiences. It's easy to hear that and think about material help or maybe political help. Material help like food and clothing and housing, political help like increasing the amount of affordable housing, or providing someone with a voice. But there's another side to it, another way that we meet the urgent needs of those suffering from poverty and its effects. It's about more than rebuilding homes or rebuilding finances or rebuilding networks. It's also about rebuilding souls. I'm Chris Marlin Warfield, the Church Relations Associate here at Back Bay Mission, and today I want to tell you, with the help of one of our staff and one of our volunteers, about Eddie.
I received a phone call from Megan. She's a caseworker at Coastal Family Health.
That's Jill Cartledge. She's our emergency assistance caseworker. You'll hear more from and about her in a minute. Coastal Family Health operates 10 community health centers on the Gulf Coast, as well as 2 mobile clinics and several school clinics. The clinics aren't free, but they work on a sliding scale. It's worth noting that Coastal Family Health is also one of the many social service agencies that the mission was instrumental in founding. That, though, is another story. Coastal Family Health regularly refers patients with housing needs to us, and Megan had a client she wanted to send over.
Eddie Franklin is his name, and Eddie came in to see me Wednesday afternoon at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I had one of the volunteers from Wisconsin assisting me in the food pantry, and she just happened to be sitting out in the lobby with me, talking to me when Eddie walked in.
That volunteer from Wisconsin was Mary Dees. Again, we'll hear more from her in a moment.
It was sort of clear to both of us that he had been through quite a lot when he walked in. His head was low. He came up to the window and he said, "I'm here to get some help for housing." And I asked him if he was Eddie being sent over by Megan, and he said, "Yes, ma'am."
Eddie needed a specific kind of help with housing. He already had an apartment, and he was ready to move in. He had also been accepted for Social Security disability. He had the resources he needed to survive lined up. The problem was that he didn't have the resources to make it from now until when his Social Security disability kicked in. And a lot of people are in this situation. Maybe they're like Eddie and they'll start receiving disability payments in a few weeks, or perhaps they found a job but aren't going to be paid for a few weeks. Fortunately, we have a ministry just for this situation: Emergency Assistance Case Management.
But these are people that I get to choose based on my ability to sit down and talk to them about where they are financially, that I may be able to carry for 2 to 3 months to help them a little bit more financially, to talk about their budgeting, their money skills, and just help them plan for how they're going to get themselves back on their feet.
Jill accepted Eddie as an emergency assistance case management client, and over the next few months, he'll receive the financial help he needs to make it through these lean times. But there's something else going on here as well. Did you notice what Jill said?
His head was low.
Or, as that volunteer Mary puts it,
as he was standing there and I was standing there, I could tell he was pretty upset and pretty, the look on his face and the tears in his eyes just really kind of made me feel like I just feel like you just need a hug.
Eddie is living with HIV, and in Mississippi, that can often make it difficult to get the help he needs.
And he said, everybody in this town has been treating me like a leper. Nobody will touch me. Nobody will come near me.
As Jill puts it, there's very little compassion or understanding for people with HIV or AIDS in Mississippi.
When you talk about South Mississippi AIDS Task Force.
South Mississippi AIDS Task Force was also founded by Back Bay Mission.
Coastal Family Health, Back Bay, and a lot of the nonprofits. You don't have to worry. But unfortunately, apartment complexes, stores, other places pharmacies that deal with this, sometimes you don't get the same kind of respect and compassion that you might get from a not-for-profit,
So here's Eddie's situation. He's living with HIV. which makes it difficult in Mississippi for him to get the help he needs or even to be treated with dignity and respect. He also needs some help getting through until his Social Security disability kicks in. Back Bay Mission is going to help him get through the lean times, but we're also going to do something else. And I think I'll let Mary and Jill tell you about that.
And he told me, he said, I've just been very lonely. Everybody's pretty much shut me out of their lives. It's like since he had, disclosed that he had HIV, and so right before he left, then I said to him, it just kind of looks like you could use, or it seems like you could use another hug for the road, and I gave him another big hug, and it was just really a special thing to me to be able to do that. After the pantry closed, Jill came over to see if I was okay, and I said, "Oh, I was perfectly fine, and everything." And she said she just wanted to, make sure that I was okay. And her words to me were something like, "Do you realize that is probably the first, you have been the first person that has probably treated him with compassion and dignity in a long time."
He was just a different person when he left here. He walked out with his head high. He said, "Well, you go get yourself all moved in now, and you come back and see me when you're ready to get that utility bill paid." And he said, "Thank you, ma'am. I love you, and God bless y'all."
That's the power of Back Bay Mission. Eddie came to the mission needing material help, and he left knowing that he would get it. But he also came to the mission needing his dignity restored. And while that will be a long process and require a lot more people than just us, thanks to Jill and Mary and the simple act of a hug, a start has been made.